Hello friends! Today I'm going to show you how I make Tamagoyaki Japanese rolled egg omelette on a round stainless steel pan with minimal oil. So come, I'll show you how. This recipe is for an 8 to 8.5 inch stainless steel fry pan. This pan I'm using measures 8.5 inches in diameter from the top, and that's how you know the size of your fry pan. Let's start with 4 large eggs, which yield approximately 200 to 220 grams without the shell. I prefer to rinse the eggs first, but that's a personal choice, you don't have to. Here's a 1 liter measuring cup, which we will mix the eggs in. 4 large eggs. 1 tablespoon sugar. 1/4 teaspoon dashi stock powder. Dashi stock powder is also known as bonito fish soup stock powder. If you don't have this, you can substitute it with chicken stock powder or salt. Using chopsticks or a fork, whisk the egg mixture thoroughly, making sure the egg and dashi stock powder are evenly incorporated. The egg mixture is done. Let's preheat the stainless steel fry pan. The first thing to be aware of is the type of cooktop you will be using, because that impacts how fast your pan responds to heat adjustments. This will be helpful because temperature control is key in making tamagoyaki. Generally, there are 3 types of cooktops: electric, gas, and induction. A stainless steel pan on an induction or gas cooktop responds fast when you adjust the heat setting, whereas for electric cooktop, it is on the slow side. With these in mind, let's preheat the pan. I'm using an induction cooktop, and this is how it goes. Preheat at medium heat. Do a water droplet test. If you see the water droplets sizzling like so, this means the pan is heating up. Turn down the heat setting to low, then continue to let it preheat until you're able to do a successful water droplet test where the water beads and glides across the pan calmly like so. The pan is ready. If you're using an electric cooktop, simply preheat the pan at medium-low setting, and when you can do a successful water droplet test, turn it down to the low setting and wait a little bit for the pan to bring down the temperature, then run another water droplet test. Once successful, we're ready to make the tamagoyaki. Add about 2 drops of oil, which is about ½ teaspoon, and use a silicone brush to lightly grease the pan. You only need enough oil to coat its surface lightly. Then pour in just enough egg mixture to thinly cover the pan. When the egg is about 70% cooked, use a silicone mini spatula or chopsticks to gently fold the egg from one corner to the other. If the first layer turns brown like this, it means the pan is slightly too hot. Simply adjust the heat lower for the next layer. Use the same silicone brush that already has oil on it from previously coating the pan to lightly brush the pan again. Give the egg mixture a quick stir. Add the next layer of egg mixture, just enough to cover the pan. Lift the rolled egg slightly so the egg mixture flows underneath it. As the egg cooks, it will attach to the rolled egg, forming the next layer of the tamagoyaki. You can use chopsticks to pop any air bubbles. Once the surface of the egg is about 70% cooked, gently roll the egg from one side to the other. As you can see, I lowered the heat earlier, and now the exterior of this layer has a beautiful bright yellow color. Repeat these steps I've shown you, adding a thin layer of egg mixture each time and rolling it to form new layers until all the egg mixtures are used. As you can see here, the center portion of the egg is still slightly uncooked, and that's okay because it will continue to cook from the residue heat. The liquid egg helps to glue the layers together as we roll them, and the heat will finish cooking the inside. As the layers build up and the roll gets larger, I press each side down with a spatula while folding to shape it into a rectangular roll with rounded edges. And that's it. The tamagoyaki is done. You can serve as it is, or optionally place it on a clean bamboo sushi mat and gently roll it to compress the layers and refine its shape. Secure each end with a rubber band and let it sit for a few minutes. Alright, let's check out what the tamagoyaki looks like. Beautiful. The very first layer was slightly brown, but from a cross-section perspective, you can barely notice it unless you're the one cooking it or you're told to look out for it. Great news! You can freeze this. Simply wrap it in cling wrap to prevent freezer burns. Depending on how much you plan to use at once, you can freeze it uncut or in small groups of a few pieces. If you do it this way, it can last in the freezer for a long time. To thaw, you can leave it in the fridge or at room temperature, and it would be ready to eat. I can't tell a difference. And here are some of the ways I have tamagoyaki with my meals.
And that's it. I hope you give this a try. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.